Welcome to DMV Spotlight here in the nation's capital, where we shine a light on the issues impacting D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. I'm Barbara Britt, and I'm delighted to welcome as my guest today Major Mark Woodcock. He is the area commander for the Salvation Army in the National Capital Area Command. Thank you so much, Major, for joining me today on DMV Spotlight.
Thank you.
Major, I just want to ask you, because we are getting into the holiday season, and we know that for a lot of us, it's a fun time, it's a festive time, but we also know that there are a lot of people over the holidays who really struggle, and we know that the Salvation Army has an amazing program to make sure that children, certain children who are in difficult circumstances, are not forgotten. So tell us about what the Salvation Army does and has been doing for some time.
Well, over 50 years ago in Lynchburg, Virginia, the Salvation Army started a program called Angel Tree. And the magic of Angel Tree was it took a real child in the community, a needy child, and matched that child up with a donor. And so what the donor would do is they would go buy toys and clothing and things off the wish list that was on the Angel, and then they would return those gifts to the Salvation Army. And then about a week or so before Christmas, the Salvation Army would distribute those gifts to those families. What's really important to know, and it's to me part of the magic of this program, is that when you buy a gift for Tommy or Raquan or whoever that child might be, the Salvation Army does everything possible to make sure that those gifts go to that child. And it's a wonderful day when we distribute those packages to those families. For most of those families, those are the toys and clothing that the children will unwrap on Christmas morning. And it's such a blessing to see those families get those gifts.
Well, it's an incredible program. So how many years did you say it has been going on?
It's been going on for over 50 years, the Angel Tree program. Now, the Salvation Army has been helping individuals at Christmas time for over 100 years here in the DMV area. But the Angel Tree program started about 50 years ago, and just to put a value on it for us here in our area, DMV, it is about $1 million worth of new toys, new clothing, bicycles. That's the value of the goods that individuals buy in this community to help needy families. So it's a great program. It's a program that creates a lot of work. You can go to our website, and which is the Salvation Army NCA, which stands for National Capital Area, Salvation Army National Capital Area NCA.org, and you can go to our volunteer, click on there, and if you'd like to volunteer out of our Angel Tree warehouse, you can do that, or many of our locations. We have a location in Montgomery County, Fairfax County, Alexandria, Arlington, Prince William, and you can get connected and see that side of the Angel Tree program.
It's so exciting. How do you get into the community? Because I've certainly seen the angel trees over the years, beautiful Christmas trees, and then the little cutout angel. And on one side, you have the name of a child and the age, and then on the other side, some of the things that this child or this family may need. How do you connect with these community organizations to get the trees out there so that people can pick their angel and be an angel?
You know, this program, as soon as it closes down at Christmas time in January, we're evaluating what we did right, what we did wrong. Again, when you put numbers to it, it's like $1 million program. It takes a lot of coordination and work. But once we roll around to July, and we call it Christmas in July, we start calling up all of our past year donors, businesses, churches, various groups that have adopted 10 angels, 50 angels, 200 angels, and get them to commit for the upcoming year. Once September gets here at our various offices all through the area, we start taking applications from individuals who feel they need this Christmas assistance. We will vet those applications, and that's when we commit those names to those angels. Once we've done that, we immediately get those angels out to the various corporations, businesses, churches, individuals, so they can start buying and putting those goods together for those children. Then it comes to us at our warehouse, or again various locations around the DMV, where they're put in groups by their family. So when the Smith family comes, that we have all the children together and we give it to the family already bagged up when they come for distribution. The sad thing, and one of the challenging things with this program, we will adopt out about 12,000 angels, but almost 10% of them won't get returned. And so what do we do? Well, we made a commitment to those families, so that's why the miscellaneous toys, the toy drives that we do, people will sometimes say, I didn't adopt an angel, but I have toys. We use all those toys to fill in the cracks. And sometimes we have toys left over from the previous year, and so we use those toys and clothing to fill those what we call forgotten angels, because for whatever reason the individual adopted those angels but didn't return them back, and that's about 10%. So that's 1,200 angels that we at the Salvation Army have to find a way to fill. We're able to do that again because of the generosity of the community.
And so the messaging also has to be that if you take an angel, you need to commit to providing that. Again, because as you mentioned, for many children, this is the only gift that will be under the tree for them at Christmas.
Absolutely. And what we tell our donors, if you can't do it, if something changes, just let us know, because what we'll do is we'll readopt that angel back out. We can do that. And we have donors that are willing to step in even at the last minute. But of course we can't do that unless we know about it. So that last week before distribution, that's really chaotic for us, because that's when we find out, okay, Johnny's gifts didn't come back in. So we're actually taking that angel and going to our toy shop and say, what toys, what clothing do we have available? And then we fill that angel, because we made a commitment to Johnny and his family back in September, and we're going to fulfill that commitment.
And then what are the children told about where these gifts come from?
Well, ultimately we encourage the parents to share with their children. Now, for some, which are very young, they're believing they came from Santa Claus, and there's nothing wrong with that. For children that are a little bit older and know a little bit more of the Christmas story, parents will share with their children. I can tell you we have many adults that come and will adopt an angel or will volunteer with the Salvation Army, will help work at our Red Kettle, and will say, I was one of those kids that was helped by Angel Tree when I was small. And now they're an adult. They have the means to be able to help and to give back, but they've never forgotten that they were helped by the Salvation Army. In fact, we were interviewing for one of our positions, and one of the applicants said, I was one of those kids that was helped through Angel Tree. So it leaves an impact upon these children's life. Many of them never forget it. They're grateful that their parents was able to get help through the Salvation Army, and they'll never know the donor's name, unfortunately, that helped them. But many are grateful and never forget the generosity of people who just wanted to help at Christmas time.
I'm speaking today with Major Mark Woodcock. He is the area commander for the Salvation Army here in our area in the National Capital Area Command. We're talking about Angel Tree. And I have to ask you, Major Woodcock, have you been there when these gifts have been opened or received by these children or to the parents?
It's usually just the parents. When we do distribution, I've been part of the Salvation Army for 35 years, so in some way, form, or fashion, I have been around with children when we had parties and did different things, and they received gifts. But the Angel Tree program is really designed for families to be able to have something on Christmas morning. And we've often said, we need to get with some families to take pictures, and so they can share that moment with us, and that we could share that moment with our donors when the children see those gifts under the Christmas tree. But we, for the most part, we will never see that. We just have families that come to us throughout the year and are saying thank you for helping us through your Angel Tree program, and that really motivates us to get up and do it year after year.
And speaking of that, it's also the season almost for the Salvation Army Red Kettle. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about when you all will be out in the community. I know it's been difficult with COVID for everyone, but particularly in a ministry like that where people are actually putting cash into a kettle, and some of the challenges there. What are you looking at for this year?
Yeah, the Red Kettle started in 1891 in San Francisco. The Salvation Army wanted to feed people that were hungry and had no way of paying for it. So a Salvation Army officer put a crab pot out at the Fisherman's Wharf there in San Francisco, and people started throwing money into it, and thus the Salvation Army Red Kettle was born. That Red Kettle throughout the nation will raise about $150 million. For us here, it raised almost $900,000 last year, and our goal is $1 million this year. And that money helps us not only at Christmas time, but year-round. The people see the visibility of the Salvation Army during the Christmas holidays, but we're here 365 days a year. We have several locations that are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, in helping people in our community. And the money that's put in those kettles stay right here in the area, and we put that money to work in helping individuals. We just closed out our fiscal year last year, and we paid all over $13 million in helping people with their rent, with utility assistance, and providing food, the Angel Tree program, over $13 million that was invested back into needy individuals in this community. So I like to say that we burn the candle both ends of the stick. We have shelters that help with the homeless situation. We go out on the street and feed people every night, 365 days a year. But we're also doing things to try to keep people in their homes, to keep them from becoming homeless. And that's where our rental assistance and utility assistance programs are so critical, that keep people in their homes.
And when can people start to see the red kettles coming out?
You should be seeing them already. And if you don't see them, it's just because we don't have a worker. That's one of our biggest challenges. The stores have been very gracious to give us permission to stand in front of their doors throughout the Christmas season, but we simply do not have the volunteers. So here again, you can go to our website, Salvation Army NCA, and you can find how you can volunteer at our Red Kettle. And what we need people to do is to be our Red Kettle captain for the day. We appreciate that 2 hours you want to give to us, but we need that Red Kettle filled all day long. And if you can help us do that, to get your church group, your school group, your sports group, whatever it might be, and helping us doing that Red Kettle all day long.
Well, that's fantastic. I've been speaking today with Major Mark Woodcock. He's the area commander of the Salvation Army, talking about the Angel Tree program that they run, as well as the Red Kettle that we'll be seeing here across the area shortly. And again, give that website one last time, please, Major.
Salvation Army, NCA.org.
Thank you so much. And thank you for joining me today on DMV Spotlight. I'm Barbara Britt, and join us again next week at this same time for DMV Spotlight.